Okay. I'm sorry, that was just technical issue. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's continue. So this is what we are trying to write about. We are trying to write about the emerging technology of treating PCOS against the conventional. We already know that we are okay. Currently, we are still using the conventional way to treat PCOS, but I have a suggestion. Okay, why can't we use some emerging technology? And the emerging technology in view mRNA therapy. So we just want to write some things that we summarized when we were in the introduction. So let's just say we want to start with what is the history. I want to give a brief background about PCOS. So you can just start with pathophysiology. 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 You know, something like this. Causes, no, let's say pathophysiology, origin, causes, and impact of PCOS. So this can be your first point you will be raising. So after this one, even though this one, you can write it one by one. So let's just say pathophysiology, then the next one will be origin of PCOS. Then the next point you'll be raising will be causes. Then the next one you'll be raising is impact of PCOS. Then after this one, you can write another thing like the prevalence, let's say prevalence of PCOS. Then after prevalence of PCOS, you can now start. Now remember, I'm trying to, um, I'm still in line with my topic, the effectiveness of treating PCOS. What I'm trying to what I'm trying to focus on is to compare the therapeutic measure between between the conventional therapy method, the conventional therapy approach, and the futuristic therapy approach. So now I've talked about the pathophysiology, I've talked about the causes, origin, causes, impacts. I don't think these are necessary, but you can add them. So I want to talk about the prevalence. Now I want to talk about, okay, we've talked about the pathophysiology, we've talked about the physiology, talked about the causes, we've talked about the impact, we've talked about how common this PCOS is. Okay, what are now the treatment approach? Now I want to say current approach, which is the conventional way. Current approach against PCOS, against PCOS. So now I will develop points on under that one. Now, the novelty I'm trying to add to this commentary research paper is the futuristic approach. So I will now write another one, futuristic approach against series. Now we can see we have how many sections do we have under the body? We have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So even yesterday, I think I wrote like three. Today I wrote like seven. There's no rigid structure for writing a body. So once you know, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve, you can break it down, you can elaborate on all of your body. But note that when you're writing a commentary research paper, you want to keep the total number of the manuscript to be below 25 or just or between 5 to 3,000 words. So you don't want to write above what you will re-edit it. So we've talked about the body, and basically this is just a summary of what we did yesterday. So today we'll be talking about the abstract, because next week we'll be talking about the conclusion. Then we are starting the projects, and it will be very, very fast by God's grace. So now I want to write abstract, how to write Okay. So now we have two types of abstracts. Please let's concentrate very well. This part is very, very important. We have two types of abstracts. So we have the structured abstracts and we have the unstructured. Okay. We have these two type of abstract. We have the structured abstract and unstructured abstract. So what's the difference between the two, or what do we refer to as structured abstract, and what do we also refer to as unstructured abstract? So whenever we have structured abstracts, that means it follows the IMRAD rule. So can someone unmute their mic and tell me what does IMRAD mean? What do you think IMRAD mean? I know I've been explaining IMRAD since these days. So can someone just unmute their mic and okay, let me know what do you think IMRAD structure mean? Anyone? Okay, I'll just call name. Alima, can you help us out?
Good evening. I am.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I think the IMRAD means introduction, method, abstract, result, and discussion.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. So now when we have something that follows IMRAD structure, so we have the methodology, we have the results, we have the discussion. Sometimes you can have the conclusion, but it's not compulsory. So yeah, you may not have you may not have this actually. Let's just say results. After results, let me just leave it. You see, no, I don't think you have the discussion there. So I think it's usually IMRC, but this conclusion is not a must. So sometimes they might call this introduction, they can call it background, they can call it background, or they call it summary. So now let me just explain this one. So when we want to write abstract sorry, structured abstract, and you can see you'll be seeing something like introduction, methodology, results, conclusion. So introduction will just be a bit about the background, a brief introduction or a brief information about the particular topic you are trying to write on, maybe a key substance there, a key value there. So then the methodology will be how you are carrying out the experiments, the method you use in carrying out the experiment. Then you want to discuss your results a little bit. No, not like results, you have to discuss the overview of your result. Maybe let's say I'm doing my final year thesis, then I noticed that I'm working on something, or I'm working on a research called, or focusing on um, the the causative factor of diabetes. You understand? So my methodology, I will give under my introduction, I have to introduce what diabetes is and people who are prone to having diabetes and the types of diabetes. Those brief introduction, just like 1, 2, 3 line, or 1, 2, 3 sentence like that. Then methodology, how am I trying to achieve um my research goal? So I want to interview people, or I want to just go to hospital to um, test various patients, or I want to collect samples from different hospitals. So that would be under my methodology. Then my results, I can be okay. After I'm done with everything, I'm done with the analysis, I'm done with everything. Because abstract is an overview of everything you are writing. So you not cannot tell them, okay, from my research, I've I can we can conclude that the causative factor of diabetes varies from person to person. Sometimes it can be primary cause, or it can be secondary cause, maybe essential or non-essential cause. That is, sometimes it is genetics, all those things now. So that would be under the results. Then conclusion, you just concluding basically on on everything you've talked about. So that's what we call introduction. Now let me ask an open end question. When you have this type of structure abstracts, do you think you will be able to write this type of structured abstract, this type of abstract in a commentary research paper? Can anyone unmute and answer me? And why are you choosing that answer? I think I will call name. Yeah, Anisat. Can you do you think, Anisat, you are the one, I'm directing the question to you. Do you think we can write this type of abstract in a commentary research paper? If yes, why? If no, why?
I don't think so because for this type of rule or for the IMRAD structure, normally we use it for original research papers and review articles. So and when you're writing commentary, there's something like method or even results. It's just basically you collating maybe ideas from different research papers. I don't think we can use this type of abstract for a commentary research paper.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're actually correct. That means we only use structured abstract when we are writing original research paper and review. Now, let's note something. Original research paper, it is a must you follow IMRAD structure. That's a must. But for review, sometimes you may use structured abstract, sometimes you may not, you may use unstructured abstracts. Both of them are the same thing. So now let's move on to unstructured abstract. Then we will check, we will review some paper online. Then I will try to write, I'll try to show you how to write an abstract. So now let's go. Let's look at unstructured abstract. Basically, whatever you are writing in this particular abstract here, the introduction, the methodology, the conclusion is what you'll be writing here. But let's say instead of introduction, you'll be writing the introduction, you'll be writing the methodology, you'll be writing the results and let's say conclusion. Now, because this one, most time when we are writing unstructured abstracts, now let me just do something like this. Control C. So you use this when you are writing review research paper. So you use this when you are writing. So when you are writing commentary research paper, under your abstract, you are giving brief into information about the topic you are writing on. Then everything you wrote on your body, you have to give an overview inside the abstract, because abstract is basically the overview of everything you've achieved in you achieve in that particular paper. Then you have to give a brief conclusion also. So now let's just review some paper. Then I will ask all of us to identify the type of research paper. So let's go to Google Scholar now. Let's search on. Okay. Now, can someone look? Let's look at this abstract together. So you tell me if it is structured or unstructured abstract. Then, oh my goodness, what happened? My computer just literally went off now. Um, right. Let me just give it a minute. It is already booting again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm logging in. Okay. Okay, so sorry. I apologize for the technical issue I'm facing. I don't know the cause of what's happening. It just shut down at right there. Okay, so without further ado, I really apologize. So let's just move forward. So now let's look at this abstract, the type of this abstract. So we can see the first thing we are seeing here is importance. So after the importance, we can see we have our objective. After objective, we have the data source, we have the study selection, we have the sentences. Then we have results, then we have conclusion and relevance. So that's basically the as abstract. Then we can't find any other information about this. So now who can unmute their mic and tell me what type of abstract this is? Do you think it is structured abstract or unstructured abstract? If you say it is structured abstract, why do you think it is a structured abstract? If you think it is an unstructured abstract, why do you think it's an unstructured abstract? Anyone? Or should I call names? Yeah, Mafudo. What do you think? Mafudo, now you are the call. Sorry, I'm calling you Mafudo. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure she is with us. Okay. Sofiat, are you with us?
Yes,
Okay, what type of
yes,
abstract do you think? Do you think it is linear structure, not an linear structure?
I think it is structured abstract because it has results. Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, we are correct here without results. So let me just chip this in. We can see when they are starting now, they have importance. So basically, what they write does not actually matter. They give a brief introduction. The development of antibiotic is considered the most important advance in modern science. Antibiotic have saved millions of lives. So this is more like introduction, even though it was importance was written. So you should still know that it is introduction. So like when I was explaining, oh, I wish the passive instruction. When I was explaining the other time, I told us that introduction might also mean background, might mean summary. So in this particular case, they used in this particular case, why is it okay? Okay. So importance might also in this case is also in introduction, so we might also see summary or whatever. So after introduction, most of them they do write objective and aim, which was what I omitted when I was explaining the other time. So data sources, study selection, and data synthesis, is it the same thing as how the stuff were how the experiments were carried out was carried out? So and that's why we have it as methodology. So it's still the same thing, even though they use another English or another grammar. So we also have our results here, then we have conclusion and relevance. So this particular type, it is a review data review research or an original research paper. And that's how we usually differentiate between original research paper or review research paper. But this look more of original research paper. Now let's look at research at. So let's look at this. We have our summary here. Then okay, we just have our summary. So in this case, this, this is um this is unstructured research paper because everything is written in 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 a paragraph. So this is an unstructured research paper. Now let's look for more. Let me go to something like infectious disease. Oh, sorry. So when we look at this text, what do you think? Okay, let me just call on someone. Sophia, the other Sophia on this call. What do you think this type of abstract is? Is it structured or abstract? The other Sophia with the P.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with you.
Yeah. Do you think it is a structured research or structured abstract or unstructured abstract?
Instructive.
What do you think so?
But it doesn't follow the image structure. And it's written in single paragraph.
Okay. So what type of research paper do you think this will be? Do you think it will be original research paper, review research paper, or commentary research paper?
Can you scroll up, please?
What do you say?
Can you scroll up, please?
You said commentary research paper, right?
I said you should please scroll up. I can't see the paper.
This is it here. Can you see? Sorry, where is it? This is it. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? Will it be commentary research paper or original research paper or review research paper?
Commentary.
Okay. So I think it's not that to understand how to differentiate between structured and unstructured data type and abstract structure. So now let's get to work and let's see how can we actually write our research paper. So now yesterday I gave us that everyone should should suggest community research topic. So now let's look through it and let's look at what we will be what we can work with. So let me just go through this thing. Okay. Okay, let's write on this one then, since it's the first one to load. And let's copy this one. So let's try to write on this abstract here. So let's try to write this one. This one. But let's look through everything. So we have the first one here. Okay. So balancing patient privacy and data sharing in the era of digital health records. Okay, this is actually a good point. A good topic which I like. I will read through everything today. Okay. Actually, this is a good topic also. Radiation therapy for breast cancer and associated cardiac complication. A call for collaborative efforts between cardiothoracic surgeon and oncologist. Okay, this is actually good too. I have two others in my two other topic in my DM which people sent to me. So let's just try to write on this one. The one I chose to happen. Yeah. Okay, the first thing you want to do is when you want to write an abstract, I want it to be an interactive class. So that's why I will be calling on everyone. So while at it. So please confirm you can see my screen very well and you can see my yeah, you can see my screen. Just reply with an image or something. Okay, I think you can see my screen. So now we want to start with abstracts. Sorry. Let's we want to write a comment research paper. So after abstract, we are writing introduction. We are writing introduction. After introduction, we are writing body. We are writing our conclusion after that. So the first thing after will come last because it is overview of everything you will be writing under the introduction. So the first thing I want to write under my introduction, I want to give brief introduction about what. Brief introduction about drug discovery, about drug discovery and drug accessibility. Discovery. So after that one, I want to give why am I writing the aims and objective of this particular course this particular paper. Aims and objective. Let me just write it short. Let me short it. So after aims and objective, I want to write on my research gap. Then I want to write on the significance. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. There are a couple of things we have significance of this research paper. Now this body, what do you think I can start with? Because I'm done with the objective already. I'm done with the introduction now. So now what do you think I can do already? So now let's go. My body. So we all know this is 1.0, this is 2.0. Now under this my body, what do you think I can write? We are trying to write about drug discovery and accessibility. Why scientific breakthrough still fail the patients who need them most. Okay, let me just highlight this one. So I want to write the first thing I want to write is about maybe I want to write on drug. Let's say something like drug discovery and accessibility. Why scientific breakthrough still fail the patients who need them most. Why scientific breakthroughs still fail the patient? Or maybe because of the That's challenge, Abby. So now let's start with um let's start with drug discovery. We can start with, because we want to write the body now. Let's start with history of drug discovery. So history of drug discovery, how scientists dated as far as 1960, how they start drug discovery and evolution of drug discovery. Okay, instead of history, I can just write something like evolution of drug discovery. Evolution of drug discovery. Or you can write something like history. So that would be my first point, history and evolution of drug discovery. That's what I will write on. That would be my first point. I'll be writing under my body. So remember, I'm trying to build it based on my topic. So now I've give a background on my history and evolution. Okay, I want to talk about the prevalence, or let me say the impact of drug discovery in today's world of drug discovery. Please, can you guys still hear me? Please, can someone unmute their mic? I really can't see you guys again. Can someone unmute their mic and just or reply? Okay, people are still with me. Okay, thank you. So, impact of drug discovery. So, you want to know how what is the impact of drug discovery? Has it been beneficial? Has it been absurd, or it is just there? So, you want to know the impact. Now, when you are done with the impact, now let's say I want to know um let's say after the impact, what else can we write on? And you can just write on challenges. No, we can write on drug distribution. You can write on drug distribution. Yeah, drug distribution. So after distribution, now we can now write on challenges facing drug distribution. Now you can see I'm trying to maintain a flow. Okay, do you want to ask a question? I know someone raised their hand. I can feel it here.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to ask that limitations and challenges are they the same in this context?
Yes, they are the same. In this particular case, what we are trying to do is that we have a lot of, let's say, drug discovery. That's what we call scientific breakthrough, right? But even though there are several scientific breakthrough, there's an hindrance we are facing, which is accessibility. That is, the serving people, the drug is not going to, or is not reaching is not reaching the target audience, maybe people in the rural area. You say we are trying to get a vaccine now. There is high probability that when it is launching in Nigeria, the first place it will be launching it will be Lagos, then maybe some states, some neighboring states, before it can reach some states in, let's say, the north central or the northern states. It might be a little while after we've even forget about vaccine in Lagos. So that's why I'm saying that the target audience, they are not able to access quality healthcare, and that's what we are trying to face here. So we can write challenges facing drug distribution, or you can write limitation. They are the same thing in this particular case. So it depends on the use case. Do you understand? But generally they are the same thing. So challenges facing drug distribution. So now in this case, that's where you write the accessibility. So now something that is novel about this particular thing. Okay, you've highlighted all the challenges facing. So what is now your own recommendation? You have to recommend ways. Recommendation. You have to recommend various ways in how to solve this particular problem. So when you are done with your abstracts, your body, then you can write your conclusion. So how do you name it? You'll be like 1.0, right? So after that one, you can write, sorry, abstract here, abstract is 1.0. and this one 2.0. Then this one might be something like 3.0. This one might be 3.1. So this one will be 3.2. No, even this one may be 4.0. Yeah, it's possible. Because when you are recommending, I know why I'm saying this. Let's say this one is 5.0. This one can be 6.0. Doesn't really matter how you name it. It's just numbering. It's not really. So because when you are recommending, you will not be recommending in one way. You'll be recommending like different way in how to overcome this particular hindrance. So your recommendations will now be 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and that's why I named it like this. I numbered it like this. So this one will now be your 8.0. Now, do you understand the naming system, or can I go over it again? Do you understand? Do we all understand the naming system, or can I go over it again? Okay. Since there is no question, I'll take that as a no. There's no. Okay. Let's write our abstract. So now we understand what we wrote in this particular topic. So now I want to start with the abstract because I'm already done with the introduction. I'm already done with the body. So that's when you can write your abstracts. So you have to be done. Okay. Now let's start about abstract and this particular thing. Okay. Okay, let's start. How can I start this? Over the years. So I want to start with a great book. Right, please, if you cannot hear me, just raise your hand or try to interrupt me because I can't see you. I can't see when you are reacting or you send a message in the chat box. I can't see it. So I can only hear you. You can interrupt me, that would be better. So now over the years, let's try to write something. So over the years, um the scientific progress has been remarkable. It's over with novel therapeutic. Remember, I'm just trying to write how I'm trying to give a brief introduction about drug discovery, which is why I'm trying to say that the scientific progress has been remarkable with novel therapeutic approaches against various diseases. Let's say various diseases, ailments or microorganisms or pathogenic or pathogens. Let me just say pathogen against various or microorganisms. Let me just say microorganism. So remember, this might not be perfect, right? Because obviously I have not done any research. I'm just trying to write it with my head because I know what's supposed to be under my abstract, which are supposed to be introduction. I'm focusing on what I've been written here, I've written here, which is introduction methodology research. But in this particular case, it is a commentary research paper, and I will be following introduction, then body, then conclusion. So the first thing is I want to give a brief introduction about drug discovery, which is what I've done. That okay, drug discovery is just remarkable. No, scientists not discovering remarkable novel therapeutic approach, which is what we call discovery. So now I want to I've explained what drug discovery is. So against various diseases and ailments. So we can still write another thing about drug discovery. Maybe you can just put a statistic over 20, no, let's say 20 million cases. Now remember, you have to reference all this thing, but I'm just trying to write this offhand. 20 million cases has been reached. Which would have been published. Mortal case has been. I don't know if this is a real thing. Which would have been labeled a mortality case. I don't know. As a case has been referred by new by the novel discovery. I don't know if it is a thing, but let's just continue. Discovery of drugs. How many by the novel discovery? By the novel drugs being discovered. So you just want to. So now let's say that's a bit about drug discovery. So now the next thing is I want to write about I've wrote about my history. Now let's see something. The first line is about introduction, a brief introduction about what drug discovery is. So now you can see I'm going into a case like 20 million cases. This is more like history, right? And the impact of drug discovery. What do we say? I've joined it in a sentence because I'm trying to summarize everything that I've written here. So I can see it here. I've joined it in a sentence. So now let's continue. 20-minute case. However, now I want to write about my drug distribution. Now let's say you can see I'm trying to summarize everything from the introduction to the body. I don't think I'm doing it very well, but maybe I will. However, there is, I can just write it. There is a problem. Let me not spill it. So let me just say, however, the very patient yeah, they can write something like that. The very patient, or let's say the very patient, yeah. If correct, let me just say the target audience. Goes down to benefits from these pictures. Yeah, you can say something like this. Often name excluded. No, yeah, let me just continue from which. So this one, I'm now trying to talk about the drug distribution and the challenges faced. Now, the drug distribution, I told them that the target patients who stand to benefit from this breakthrough, that is the drug discovery, most of the time they are not accessible, they are not easily accessible. Why? So now I want to talk about the challenges now. So and we can just write something, the challenges, because this paper, I can write something like this paper, I can write this paper or this research. Yeah, can I write this? Yeah, this research. Sorry, because this is just like an impromptu thing, and that's why it looks this research something like examine or explore. This is research explore the connection. Maybe this the connection of drug discovery and accessibility of healthcare. Healthcare delivery or drug. What are we doing? Yeah, drug discovery. Um, among seven. Well, this research, now this is what we are trying to do, right? This research explore the connection. Right? Explore the connection of drug discovery and accessibility among the discerning public. So the next thing I want to write about is the challenges. Then after my challenge, I want to write the challenges. What are the challenges faced? We can say what are the challenges that can hinder drug distribution? Please, can anyone suggest anything? What are the challenges? If I'm actually writing, I've written a lot of challenges here under this 6.0. What are the challenges that you think we might face during drug distribution? We have something like inaccessible roads, maybe corruption, right? Or let's just say economic, how the the what do you call it? I say bad road, maybe supply chain. Yeah, bad supply chain. Yeah, supply chain, bad road network, then corruption. Okay, let me just limit it to the three. Now I want to write about the challenges from okay, even prices of drug. Yeah, let me just start with that one. From exorbitant prices of drug, right? Um, Failure or inaccessible road supply, road supply, road network. Is it road network? Yeah, maybe accessible road network. Still road network. No, that's one. No, networks. I don't know. From Nigeria. Sorry. So that to be two because I start with from to inaccessible road network. What does that say? Is it something about corruption? Among the road networks. Okay. Compensation. Okay, now these are the challenges. So I've tried to summarize the challenges I wrote. Then I want to summarize the recommendation also. So from I can just write something like this paper highlights the innovation the highlights how to overcome this barrier. Mhm. How to overcome this barrier. For example, this paper highlights how to overcome this barrier. So what are the recommendation? Recommendation will be working with the maybe working with the ruling leaders. If you are working with the town leader or the local government, they will know how to the best way to distribute the vaccine or whatever drug to the community. So how to overcome these people highlight how to overcome this barrier by that's correct. These people highlight how to overcome this barrier by working on hand in hand with the ruling leaders, and let me just say, and what else? What else can be the recommendation? Anyone? What else can we recommend? Let me just say, working with. I don't have any recommendation at hand now. Let's say recommendation. Working with the ruling leaders, and obviously you cannot shut down corruption. So what else? Let's just keep it there by working with them. Let's just say that was the only thing we wrote in our recommendation. So you just have to summarize your recommendation there. So you can just continue. And let me just say something like reaching the demands. Yeah, the imagine ecosystem. Yeah, something like this. That's okay. Affordability, integrate affordability and um and accessibility as core pillars. So sorry, this is supposed to be key ones. Okay, this is not perfect. Now let me just check how many words for this. So this is 115, and I'm actually supposed to write something like 250 words. Yeah, it's not perfect, but now let's look at what we've written. Yeah, let's try to analyze it together. So we can see the first time when I started, I said I gave a brief introduction about about drug discovery. Then I support it with history and evolution of drug discovery. Basically, what I wrote in my body. So, what was the next? After 3.1, I have the impact of drug discovery. So am telling them also this 20 million case, which have been labeled mortality case, have been referred by novel drugs being discovered. This is also an impact. This is also an impact because drug discovery has been helpful more than more than the risk. So it's also an impact here. So I just summarized everything. Assuming I've developed points here, I would have enough thing to write there. So then drug distribution, I want to write on drug distribution. So I said, however, the target patients who stand to benefit from this breakthrough are excluded from their reach, which is about the drug distribution, maybe the inadequacy of drug distribution. So I'm not trying to, after the drug distribution, I can see I have challenges facing drug distribution. So I'm trying to, all the challenges I've listed in this particular body. So this is just a linkage. This research explored the connection of drug discovery and accessibility among the deserving public from exorbitant prices of, now these are the challenges, exorbitant prices of what? Drug, to inaccessible road networks, to corruption among the ruling leaders. Let's say I'll just highlight only 3 challenges. So, when you're writing, you have to write like 5 challenges, 5 recommendations. But in this case, I just write 5 challenges. So after that one, then I want to know, okay, what's now the innovation I'm bringing? What's the novelty I'm bringing to the research? Which is why I said this paper highlights how to overcome this barrier by working hand in hand with ruling leaders. In this case, I only have one recommendation, which is not supposed to be so. I'm actually supposed to have like 4, 5, but I only write one. I only wrote one, and which is good. So now I just give a conclusion. Bridging the gap demand imagining ecosystem that integrates affordability and accessibility as core pillars. Now this is actually a good abstract. It looks cool, it looks, but it's not accurate because I just developed it on spot. So now let's just review. Okay, before I move on, do you understand how to write an abstract now? Yeah, if you do understand, please can you reply with an emoji? Okay. Only one. One person. Okay, I need to okay, now let's review some papers and let's look at their research structure. Let me search. I just this guy. Now let's look at this. So what are we trying to write on? We are trying to write on malnutrition and underlying health condition faced in sub-Saharan Africa, challenges and recommendation. So we are trying to write on malnutrition as a whole subject, right? Then what are the challenges of malnutrition and the recommendation of malnutrition? Basically, this is what the topic is talking about. Now let's look at the section. The first thing you wrote was abstracts. Then we have our introduction. Then we have the causes, impacts, and consequences of sub-Saharan Africa. Then after that one, we have recommendation, which is what I was trying to say. Recommendation, how many recommendations do we have here? We have reaching out to those who are suffering from malnutrition. We have training health worker, then we have harnessing power of technology. We have increased production of agricultural product and management and protection of environment. So now let's look at the abstract. The first thing he wrote was in sub-Saharan Africa, the morbidity and mortality rates. Now he's giving us the brief introduction and why this experiment is important. In sub-Saharan Africa, the morbidity and mortality rates from malnutrition is increasing more than in any place of the world. So malnutrition, this is also a malnutrition has been a public health challenge in sub-Saharan Africa that has not received enough attention. Now, this is brief introduction about sorry, this is a brief introduction about this malnutrition and stuff. So now he said this commentary discuss the causes, effects, and the need to prioritize this prevention and control. Okay, several factors contribute to the prevalence of malnutrition. Some are poverty. So if you look at this challenges, because we are trying to focus on challenges and the recommendation, which is what he focused on here. So I think he said the impact of malnutrition. I said he said it's impact. I can see it here. I can refer to it. Let me look at it. Okay. The impact is that this malnutrition has caused a lot of morbidity and mortality rates. So now let's look at what's the next thing he wrote. He wrote about the challenges. If you look at this, the consequences, you can see something like you can see poverty here, you can see small scale agriculture, you can see poverty. Okay, this is we have overpopulation, we have educational status, we have climate change, we have corruption, we have wars and conflicts. Now, these are the consequences. No, I think that those are the causes, right? Because I've not read it enough, that's why. So we have, where am I here? Okay, contributes to high prevalence. Oh, he was trying to summarize the causes. We have the poverty, overpopulation, which is what he had he said in the he elaborated in the body. So now we want to now say the consequence of malnutrition. He said the effects of malnutrition on individual have resulted in the development of illnesses and chronic health issues, which is if you actually look at that the body, you can actually find this there. Let's look at it. Okay. Can you see? Malnutrition has led to the development of illnesses and chronic health issues due to impact. So those are the consequence of of malnutrition. So and we are done with impact now. We've written impact. We've summarized impact in our abstract. We've summarized the consequences and the causes of malnutrition. Now we want to write about we've written about the challenges also. Now we want to write about the recommendation, which is why he said hence there is a need to reach out to malnourished individual, encourage government. Now these are his recommendation. Reach out to malnourished individual, encourage the government, investors and NGOs. So if I should actually look at his recommendation here, what is his recommendation? Okay, they are reaching out to those who are suffering from malnutrition. Can you see? Training health worker to detect malnutrition, then harnessing the power of technology, so on and so on. So basically, can you see, which is use technology to its full importance. Then he wrote his conclusion here. All of these suggestions will significantly impact the incidence of malnutrition in sub-Saharan Africa. That's why I said you cannot start your paper, you cannot start your journey of writing a research paper with abstracts. You have to be done with everything you want to write. Then after you are done, you want to summarize, you want to give overview of everything you've written in your abstracts. Do you understand now? Please, if you understand this, let me reply with an emoji. I think I've. Hello, can you guys hear me, safe? Oh, okay. Only one person is replying since morning. Anyway, I know you guys are shy. You guys understand. So yeah, that's basically everything for abstract today, which I think I've broken it down in the simplest way. I did write it and we reviewed some papers and we know the type of research paper that we have now. So it's still the same thing if you want to write original research paper, you are trying to write introduction, then methodology, results, and conclusion. Basically, it's very simple. So your assignment now will be you want to start developing a commentary research paper. So I'll try to list out all the commentary research paper that people have submitted, and people that not submit before today's class will be the punishment will be communicated by our coordinator. So, okay. So what I was trying to say that all the research paper that research topic that we've chosen, I will put it in a poll so we will vote on which one we are to write. But the personal assignment I will be giving us is that each each individual topic that we've submitted, I want us to write an abstract on it before the next class. So you have to submit it before the next class. That means you have to submit it before Saturday, 9 p.m. And it has to be it has to be between 200 to 250 words. Okay, that would be it for tonight. Do we have any question to ask, any suggestion, or any clarification? Anyone? Oh, okay, someone is raising their hands. Okay, can I hear your question?
Good evening. Thank you very much for the class. You told me to
You're
remind
welcome.
you about what I asked in yesterday's class. I couldn't get a response to. You were going to answer it today.
Yes, yes, yes. You did ask me about paraphrasing and referencing. So I try to specify. Let's say I need this particular thing. Uh, I'm writing on something like this. I'm writing on the impact of malnutrition in maybe my own topic is the impact of malnutrition in, let's say, in the world generally, the impact of malnutrition in the world, or let's say amongst a certain age group. So now in this particular paper, I've read through it, but one thing that I need in this particular thing is just this thing. I need this in sub-Saharan Africa. The morbidity and mortality rates from malnutrition is increasing more than any place in the world. So ordinarily, I would not have known that malnutrition is causing more morbidity or mortality rates, and the result, and it is now increasing more than ever. So I would not have known, but because I've read it in this particular paper, I want to reference this particular paper. So the thing I want to reference is this particular thing I colored in blue, highlighted in blue. So I'll just do Control C. So you will go to your paper. What is what I've written now? Hmm, I'm sorry, hold on. I don't know. I think now this is what I copied from the manuscripts, right? So the next thing you want to do will be um I copied this, right? So now let's rephrase this, let's paraphrase this, because if you just write this directly inside your paper, when you submit it, when they are reviewing it, they have to put it in something we call Turnitin.ai. So it will review it to know if it is actually plagiarized. There will be some plagiarism testing sha. So it will actually catch that okay, this thing was lifted from a manuscript, or if it is directly from Google, it can be easily identifiable. So you want to make it distinct, your words. You can just write something like, in sub-Saharan Africa, the morbidity and mortality rate for malnutrition is increasing more than ever. So you can just say malnutrition. You can just say something like malnutrition is one of the is one of the um has been it rates. I don't know if it's correct. I don't know. nitrates. Ammonium containing nitrates, health concern. Ammonium containing nitrates, health concern. And it's increasing mortality. Discussion. Subsequent. So majorly this one, this particular thing and this one, they mean the same thing. Well, this is in my words, these are in my words, and this is not in my word. So basically these were I've evade plagiarism check now. So now let's say that's how to actually rewrite, and that's what we call how to evade plagiarism. So now I want to reference it. So you have to click on this DOI. Every paper has a DOI. You can see something like DOI.org. So you can just right click, copy your link. So you now go to a software, a reference software I introduced you to the other time, which is called mybib.com. So click on, you have to click on your mybib. So you can see mybib here. So you click on that. Let's wait for it to load. So let me just start a new project. So when you start a new project, it will look like this. So you want to click on new citation, right? So you want to click on, because it is not a website. I saw this stuff inside a journal. Remember, it was inside a journal. So you will click on this journal. Then it is asking for search for journal article title or DOI. Because I have the DOI, I just want to paste my DOI there, right? Then click on search. Then I can see the paper I've referenced it from, right? So you can just click on the paper. Then yes, it does. Next, save. Then this is the paper. Now you have to click on the paper. Once you click on this paper, there will be a drop down here. You can see this quotation mark is asking for in-text citation. So you click on this in-text citation. Remember that we have different type of referencing style. Depend on the referencing style you are working with. If it is AMA, if it is Harvard, if it is Vancouver, whatever style you are working with. So you have to click on this quotation mark. But in this case, I'm using IEEE style, referencing style. So where's my paper? So because this one is in text between the letter, so you can see I've referenced it like that. So this one means reference number 1. So after I'm done with everything, the last part, when you are done with your IMRA structure, introduction, method, results, discussion, then conclusion, the last part will be reference. You have to list out all your reference. So you want to do something like this. Let's say this is the reference part. Right, you go back to your mybib, you click on this your checklist again. Then you can see these 3 on equal line. So you want to click on this one. You can see citation copied, paste into your document with Ctrl V. So I just want to go back to my documents. So after this, the last part, right, Ctrl V. So I can actually see this one is representing this one. That means this one link this one together, and I can actually see the name of the paper here. Do you understand that now? How to reference and
Yes.
how to okay.
Yes, yes.
So where does
Thank you very much.
what was the question? Okay, we'll be calling it a night for today. Yeah, thank you so much for guys for joining. I really appreciate. Have a great night, and everyone. Please try to submit your assignment before the next class. Okay, the class has ended. Thank you for joining. Bye.